What's up, everybody? It's your man Pots and Pans. Welcome back to week number 9. First episode, that flavor combo of the week, is going to be on YouTube. Obviously, you're seeing it right now. Last week, I introduced our first spirit, our first wine into the mix with a Sauvignon Blanc. Okay, our Fumé Blanc. This week, we're going to do another one. It's called a cream sherry. I like the idea. You know, this could be really fun to be doing one every week. Back in the day, I used to drink, a lot, and not necessarily, well, okay, I did drink a lot. I did get a DUI when I was 21. I did probably almost kill myself in a car accident. But we don't have to talk about that today. What I'm really referring to is, I used to just enjoy a little bit every night. Appreciate the flavors just like you do with food. I used to be a connoisseur, a sommelier. Not really, but I still enjoyed it. And that's all that matters for you too. Sherry wine is our first fortified wine. Fortified wines mean that they're augmented. They are wines, and then they have a little bit of a spirit, some sort of distilled spirit, generally a brandy added to them. Back in the day when they were shipping the stuff over the seas, they needed something to prevent it from spoiling, and so they would add more alcohol to it, and thus was born. So there's varying degrees. At an entry level, you have fino, then you have manzanilla, amontillado, and then also al rosso. This is an al rosso, what we're talking about now, but it's labeled cream sherry because they add Pedro Jimenez grapes to them, and it makes them even more sweeter. These are very dark, more full-bodied, more flavorful than all the other variations, and they're generally more expensive because of that. Now, these are phenomenal, not just to cook with, okay? To be enjoyed as an aperitif, before, or even a digestif after your meal, to be enjoyed many times with like a dessert, some amazing chocolate, or you could just be kicking back with the homies or solo dolo. All right, you ain't gotta be with anybody to get crunk on the cream sherry. Cream sherry ain't gonna judge you for getting crunk on a Thursday. Sherry wine was originally produced in Spain, but now it's produced all over the place. And I'm sure you picked up on that based off of, their very distinctive sounding names, and my ability to pronounce them, despite my overwhelming amount of Caucasian DNA. Your man's cultured. Like I mentioned, very dark, very like orangish, amberish. It's probably from that aging process, a little bit from the grapes. Now, in reference to today's dish, we could have certainly used one of the other more dry sherries, but I love cream sherry. I wanted to drink it on this episode and other days as well when you're not watching. But I also wanted to introduce more of a sweetness, more flavor into our dish, which has liver in it, and we will discuss liver later on. Straight up, a lot of people don't dig it, and I get that, okay? Normally, I don't like to cover up flavors or overpower them. I usually like to showcase them and appreciate them for what they are. But liver is a different fucking story. To get in with the smell, very caramely. It smells actually like caramelized, okay? Almost like it's like a lozenge. If you're familiar with Loudon's cough drops, it's almost like a cough drop, cough syrup a little bit. It is syrupy. Unbelievable. Even for this price, like $9 marked down from like $11. This is not an expensive wine, but it has a ton of flavor. And I would prefer this, even over a lot of different dessert wines that you could be spending upwards of 20, 30, 40 that are often, disappointing you, letting you down even though you spent all this money. Great cream sherry like this will always come through for you. Like I said, a little bit like cough syrupy, but less medicinal. It's not as intense. You mother, father, sister, brother. This shit ain't gonna fly with me. Almost hits like that scissor. Are you guys used to getting twisted off the lean? On the nose, it's like a little orange, like orange creamsicle a little bit. Flintstone push-up pops. Let's go! Who knows that shit? Do they still make it? Dude, hey Siri, do they still make Flintstone push-up pops? Siri, not available. So I don't have a woman in my life. Anyway, I know we spent a lot of time on this. We're gonna breeze through the next couple ingredients, but this is a truly phenomenal product for $9, $10, both to cook with and drink. So if you've never experienced sherry or any other fortified wine, I highly recommend. Now, Leeks, this John right here. Yeah, it looks like a big ass scallion. Well, that's because it's related to both onion and garlic. They're all in the same family, Over the course of these 9 weeks, we've showcased a bunch of different onions, but I wanted to, give you an idea of the various varieties. couldn't be more redundant. The options. You got options in the onion family, and they all have a little bit of different nuance to them. So just want to give you ideas. Leeks, phenomenal in so many different ways. You know, they grow in a lot of dirt, a lot of sand, so you want to actually, you know, take off the top, generally take off the bottom, because, you know, you don't really use them unless you want to build flavor. You're not going to actually consume them, but they do have flavor. You could put them, you know, in like a braise, or you could use them in a stock or a broth for the flavor. But you want to split them in half and then rinse them thoroughly. They have a ton of sand, like I said, ton of sand, ton of dirt. But outside of that, you know, you could chop them up, thinly slice. I wouldn't eat them raw. What are you, a sociopath? But you could saute them up, caramelize them like I did here, specifically, very simple preparation. You can use them as an adjunct of flavor on like burgers, warm salads, that kind of stuff. You could also use this as a platform. Just cut it in half, let like a piece of meat, a roast, put in the oven, and just allow that to perfume. That would work very similar if you're cooking off like a whole fish or something. How else? You could grill them simply. Again, just split it in half, put it on the grill, fire it up, and then slice it afterwards. Awesome, so versatile, and I can't recommend them enough. Let's move on to our next ingredient. Oh, actually, one more thing. Slice thinly, flour them up. They make great deep fried. I'm sure you've seen that before. Leeks stacked real tall, because they stick to when they're nice and crispy, and they stick inside of each other, almost like that game pickup sticks when you were a kid. Stick real tall, and they give you a lot of height. They look good, and they're delicious on anything you want, really. Next up, kernel mustard. It would be ironic if mustards didn't have seeds, they had kernels. That'd be super ironic, but that's not true, so that's, you know, irrelevant to this story. Mustard, love it. Today, obviously, we're working with a prepared mustard. Other versions, you know, Americanized versions, they use the white seeds, and it'll be mixed with like water, vinegar. Turmeric is very popular, and it gives yellow mustard that yellow color. I like the German varieties, other European varieties too. French make it very well. They can be very spicy, but they range more than like Asian varieties, Chinese varieties. They're both using brown seeds, but the Asian varieties are usually way more powerful, and they'll knock you on your ass. Like super spicy. You know, it's like Chinese mustards, wasabi. Like why are they so strong? I mean, are they still mad about Fukushima? But anyway, I'm gonna move on so I don't seem racist. German mustards, phenomenal. Now this one comes from Whole Foods. You know, it's not as good as something that you'll get if you go to like a specialty market, but it's still very good. It's still a huge cheat code that you can buy. Yeah, it's technically already a sauce, but it's an ingredient that you can use in other sauces. Create your own barbecues. You can add it to an aioli or a vinaigrette, or use it in today's preparation. You know, it's a great cheat code. It's a hack. A good mustard is gonna stimulate all of the sensations that you have available to you on your palate. You know, it's like salty, sweet, pungent, zesty, peppery, a little bit of spice, acidic, you know, zesty. Did I say that? Doesn't matter. It's everything that you want in one product. Tang. Tang was the one that I was looking for. So now, moving on to our fourth and final ingredient for today. Hopefully you can enjoy this cream sherry at home with me, and you've, you know, dropped your guard, loosened up your inhibitions a little bit, and you're a little bit more open to the fact that you can eat liver too. Liver gets scoffed at all of the time. I don't know, people just go off of what they've heard. You know, they hear that it stores toxins, you shouldn't eat it a lot. They hear that it's gross, it tastes metallic, it oxidizes, sometimes it just doesn't look that great. I don't know what. There's too irony. The irony is people DM me all the time. And most recently, I had a friend, she inspired this entire thing. She said, can you please make a video on how to make liver? You know, so people want to understand. I think some people are afraid, but they're intrigued. They hear over the last couple of years, you know, there's all of this news surrounding how good liver can be for you, but most people simply don't know how to prepare them. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. So I would really encourage you to go out and try liver for the first time, bring it home, prepare it. You know, simple. Who doesn't like this? Butter, onions, garlic, make a pan sauce, hit it with cream sherry, a little mustard. You can hit it with cream if you want. There's no way that is not gonna be good. But if you wanna hide the flavors a little bit more, tomorrow I'll give you the recipe and the breakdown on Friday Night Bites for this pate. And it's gonna have everything that you want. It's gonna hide maybe that ferociousness, that unforgiving flavor that you get from liver, but it's also gonna incorporate this sweetness and this pungent tang, all that stuff that we talked about, the mustard, the caramelization we're gonna build up with these leeks and with the garlic. There's a couple other things going on in there, but it's phenomenal, and it's a great way to incorporate this nutritional powerhouse into your diet without actually just eating the liver by itself. So that's gonna be all for today's episode. As I mentioned earlier, if you enjoyed this content, please give it a like. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, please do not be shy. Be a part of this community with me. And as always, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when more of these come out. I really appreciate it because it helps me grow. And it's, you know, a little small thing. It's free to do, just like my content is. I'm doing 4 videos a week on YouTube now, moving Quick Tip Tuesday and Flavor Combo that were on Instagram, moving them here. 4 videos a week, really trying to make this push, so any support I can get from you, I really appreciate. And that's gonna be all. So yeah, as always, please be sure to leave the place better than you found it. Get drunk on a Thursday, don't be afraid. And also, I don't like saying goodbye, so I guess I'll just say, he's lucky. All right, love and peace, manokis. Chef out.